Hello everyone, my name is Ephraim Gagas and I'm very passionate about economic growth and development in Africa. Now, I'll not be able to probably take stock of how many times I've had people complain about the state of things in Africa, whether it is politically or economically. I've complained myself. Maybe you have complained too. Now, those complaints could be legitimate, those complaints could be reasonable, given what has now become our woeful socio-economic experiences in this continent. However, and I dare to say this categorically, Africa is not its headlines. So it is sad and perhaps very frustrating when we as Africans weave our story and tell it from the angle of problems and challenges rather than looking beyond the headlines, beneath those headlines, to seeing the prospect and possibilities and even the opportunities that this continent presents, not just to those of us in Africa, but even to the rest of the world. And there are overwhelming evidences out there that point to the fact that whether it is pre independence Africa or today's Africa, this continent has anchored the development of richer nations of the world. So our problem is not necessarily of what we don't have, but what we have failed to do with the enormous natural and human capital resources that we have. And I dare to say Africa has one of the best in the world. So this is why I've used several platforms, whether I'm talking to my students or in my podcast and of course in my publications, to advance the fact that Africa has more than enough to offer to the world than the world has ever seen. In fact, I dare to say that the best of Africa has not yet been seen or experienced by the world. So this is what I believe, and I think Africa is on its path there.